go live. It's 5.
We live?
I believe we are live.
Hey!
Hey! Oi, oi, oi.
We also have an extra guest, Dog.
Dog. And can you see her on the camera? I can get her snozzle up. There it is. Look,
There it is. Hey! She come to join the chat.
Yeah, she's just going to go sniffing and exploring.
Yes.
Hopefully she doesn't do a poo.
Yeah, hopefully.
On
It's going to be
floor.
smelly in the house. Hot and smelly.
Because it looks like Cyberpunk is a bit of a poo.
Big
On the
turd.
floor. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
We've got a gigantic show for you today. We are going to be talking all about Cyberpunk. It has been released. Both Casper and I have played the game. You have played it in another world, and I have played it in a different world. And I believe we both have different experiences of it. We'll go through some of the Metacritic stuff, some of the comments online. What else have we got? We've got a lot.
Yeah, so some other news we got is the 6900 XT finally dropped as well this week. It's been a very big and busy week for tech and gaming. And we've got some performance benchmarks here that we want to talk about. And then we've got the Game Awards, which actually happened like several hours ago. And we have some game announcements that were revealed.
Do you think we'll actually get to them?
What do you mean?
You said to me before you jumped in that you've got a lot to say.
Oh yeah, I have a lot to
Cyberpunk.
say. I have a lot to say, but I'm sure we'll get to it. Like I know I'm foaming out the mouth, and I'm gonna put a new hole through CDPR about the things that I want to talk about.
No, that's great. I really want to hear what you have to say.
So it might get a little bit spicy.
And obviously, you guys, if you're online, welcome, Nathaniel. Feel free to just chuck some questions if you haven't already played the game. And if you have, we'll hopefully... we're not going to do spoilers.
Yeah, zero spoilers.
Zero spoilers, but I would like to say that we will talk about characters that are shown in the trailers and the videos that they've already released. And I have a big thing to say about that.
Okay.
Before we start, maybe we'll do that at the end. I want to get your thoughts at the end. Metacritic says 91 for the critics, right?
For the critics got criticized.
So the
Wait,
critics.
what was it? No, I think it was 90, wasn't it?
No, it's
like
91.
dropped. Oh, it's dropped to 90.
Oh, 90. Okay.
Wah,
Why?
wah.
Can you just scroll down? Oh, there's the third one that has been given GameSpot. No, who's the? There's only 3 under 90.
There's 69 critics.
Yeah, but there's only 3 that are actually like lower than.
Oh, there's 85,
the
85,
yellow or
85,
whatever you
80, 80, 80, 80. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, there's 3.
PC
70,
Mag,
70,
GameSpot,
60.
GameSpeed. Okay.
Oh, and there's more coming in progress.
Yeah, there'll be. Oh, The Verge hasn't done theirs. So there'll be a lot coming, and there's a lot to talk about. So
yes,
where do we start? Like it's.
Oh wow. Okay, it's a big
been
puzzle.
7 years.
It's almost 8 years. So it's almost been 8 years.
Has it?
Yeah. So because it was like the beginning of 2013 or 2012. Well, it was before
The first trailer dropped 2013.
It was before the consoles dropped. So it was before PlayStation 4 and before Xbox dropped. So get this, the game was revealed almost a year before the last gen consoles dropped.
Yep.
And then CDPR launches the game on those consoles as well as next gen consoles, which are now current gen consoles.
Yeah.
And has done a very disingenuous thing.
Yeah.
By offering the most disgusting performance on a game. Like we're talking 15 FPS, maybe even less on like the original Xbox One, because we haven't actually seen how that Xbox One performs. And I'm sure it's probably even worse because Digital Foundry just ripped into it for PS4 and PS4 Pro and how they were performing. And it was bad. They said it was to the point that they felt it was unplayable. The original PlayStation 4, the pixels were anywhere from 720 all the way up to 900. Well, I think it's supposed to be 900, but it drops down to 720. And the frames were like 15, 17 in chaotic moments where there was a lot of shooting. They were in the city. And on the PS4 Pro, it was really strange because it was 1188 pixels.
Okay, yeah.
And then it drops down all the way, well, not pixels, but P, the resolution scaling. And then drop down all the way somewhere down to like 972, like something really weird, very arbitrary numbers.
So it was variable or?
Yeah, it was dynamic scaling and also dynamic frames. Like it wasn't locked because it was just jumping all over the show. From my personal experience.
Do you want to bring up that video? And I think they have a couple of stats that you can pause on.
The Digital Foundry?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah,
so I suppose for a bit of context, g'day Chris, welcome. Yes, it's a surprise. We did say last week we're going to do Fridays. But yeah, we're going to try and do Fridays. I think it's probably a better time. Everybody can sort of chill out. It's a Friday. Grab a few beers, relax.
Happy
it's
Friday.
34, 35 degrees here today, so we're sweating balls.
It's cooking, yes. Woo.
So just to note, Casper is experiencing the game on a PlayStation, the PlayStation 4 version,
yes,
but on a PlayStation 5. Okay,
yes.
so you're experiencing it on that, and
yeah,
you're getting those issues.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a different story here.
Yes,
no.
I really, because
I
have a lot to say, and I know Casper has a lot to say. We're going to start with the PlayStation 4 stuff. We're just going to get the Foundry video up.
Yeah.
Just pause it at one of the moments where it's.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I think that'll do.
This is some stuff where you're getting some stable 30 FPS and some shooting, but then it gets a lot uglier. It drops down. Okay, that's fine. That's not too bad. Here we go. 22 FPS. Like, what is this? 20 FPS.
Leave it on this.
Oh,
there we go. Leave it.
Oh
there.
my God.
Go back to 18. This is the one we're gonna leave as the background image for our talk.
Disgusting. Oh wow, it fluctuates. Oh, I missed it. Where was it?
There
17. Oh, even worse.
Holy crap. So, look, my thought a little while back was, why are they releasing this on the old gen consoles? Like, why?
So, I'm thinking the other side of it is, why are you releasing it in such a poor state? Like, the promise was there, and it's at the forefront. The major advertising it is for the last gen consoles.
Okay.
Because there was this big promise. There's the conversion that you're gonna get into the next gen, and a lot of people, 40%. I think the stats were like 41% of those people that are playing Cyberpunk are on the last gen consoles.
Yeah.
So to get this product that is almost unplayable, I mean, the visuals, pretty bad, and then it's buggy, and then you're getting this performance that's just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, look, I'll talk about the bugs, because I've experienced a few, but I have a lot of thoughts about that.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this performance. So, first of all, RPG games are huge.
Yeah, massive.
They're massive. This is a huge undertaking by CD Projekt Red. And by the way, I am not on their side for this. This is pretty bad. From what I've read online this morning and a couple of videos I watched, it's pretty bad out there.
I know.
People are so mad. And this calls kind of like what they used to say. We're not going to release a broken game, blah, blah, blah,
Broken promises.
But I have to sort of say that my experience has been very different on the PC. So we'll leave that to the side for now. PlayStation 4 is an older device. It's 7 years old, and it had games like The Last of Us. It looked absolutely gorgeous.
Amazing.
It ran at ridiculously nicely.
It was 1440p, and it was 30 FPS locked on the PS4 Pro, and I think it was like 1080p on the PS4.
Yeah.
And it was just solid. You might get a dip of 29 or 28, but it was just so solid. Yeah.
But I'd also like to say is that there's a stark difference between this game and that game. That game is very static. Now, how many hours are you in? Did you even
for Cyberpunk?
Yeah,
not even hours. I was like half an hour at the most. Right. That's how much game time I had.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna say after 20 hours.
Whoa.
I've been at it for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been at it. I'm going to say that this is the most ambitious game I have ever played in regards to an RPG.
Okay, wow.
In regards to what you can and cannot do in the world of Cyberpunk.
That's cool.
It's, how do I even describe it? How do I put it into words? But you have to consider that a game like Last of Us 2 is very static. the world is there, and you're traversing it, and your interaction is actually what other enemies are in that world, plus or minus some traps and bits and pieces, right?
Yeah.
In this world, you can interact with about 80% of everything you see. So out of the 100%, 80% is completely interactive. There is verticality where you can walk into a building and you can go upstairs. There's rooms that you can crack and open, and there is a lot more going on. Obviously, the console version has even less people or cars and things happening in the world compared to the PC
less
version.
physics.
We'll talk about that too in a second. But I have to say, seeing how it dips, I'm not surprised, because even when I was in the city areas, there is just so much going on. It is like you've got a gang fighting over here, crap exploding. Then you've got police pulling over a car over here. Then you might have a medvac like rescuing somebody over here, and then you're like fucking around and shooting people here.
You're like trying to buy candy from a vending machine.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this is crazy.
And every one of those actions that's happening is fairly scripted in the event itself, but it plays out differently in different areas, right? Because of the locations.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's all. So when I see this screenshot right here, where you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 enemies. So there's one there behind them.
Honing in on the like protagonist.
Yeah, there's a grenade about to explode, that yellow thing there.
Yeah.
And then the mission is there. Now, there is still, there's a car there, you're there, that building there to the right you can enter. I'm pretty sure I know where this is.
Yeah.
And then look at the map. You're in 2 stars, the cops are after you.
There's a warrant out for you.
Like, think back to like GTA. Like when crap started exploding, things used to lag all the time.
Yes.
But that's still no excuse for 30 frames, like 17 frames.
Yeah.
I'm
8
shocked.
years in development. It's been in development for much longer than the console has existed.
Yeah.
It's insane. Okay. You know what? I 110% agree with you about the comparison between Last of Us 2 and this game, the Cyberpunk 2077. I've been thinking about it a lot.
Yeah.
And because Naughty Dog, they had that single task of just getting it on basically 2 consoles. All they had was 2 architectures they needed to get this game on.
Same architecture, different performance
Yeah,
levels.
basically different.
It's not even, it's a 1.5.
It's not even that. It's a 1.5. Yeah, it's pretty much just one console, right? Whereas these guys, I mean, they had so many things to take into account. You've got the PC master race, which is a billion variables in itself.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the different consoles, as well as consoles that didn't even exist at the time.
I'm taking my shoes off for this, man. This is...
Yeah, it's getting hot, spicy.
Ooh, this is very spicy.
So, yeah, so they had a tremendous, insane task ahead of them. Insane. So I do believe that they should have released the game next year. But my belief is that there was a lot of financial pressure. There was a lot of pressure from the stakeholders, from the investors, and the fact that it's the perfect opportune time between the cross-gen going on, and they needed to sell the PS4 copies, the Xbox One copies, before everyone started converting onto the next-gen consoles. So it was like the perfect opportunity at the most worst time possible for them.
Yeah.
And so they were so conflicted, they just had to do it, and they knew that they were going to cop it.
You know when you do something and you're like, oh, this is going to be difficult, and you decide to like pile onto it. So you decide to do something really ambitious, and you're like, oh, and I'll do this, and then this, and it just spirals out. And you've made all these promises, and you're like, oh, crap, I have to somehow fill them, those promises. Chris says, release it on last gen to make more money, of course.
Absolutely.
Devolution says, runs great on my PS5. We'll talk about that in a moment, because you've got it on PS5.
Yeah.
And Devolution says, spicy foot juices. Absolutely. And the Spicy Boys are back. Thank you very much. Welcome, Pog. For those just joining us, we're talking about Cyberpunk and the terrible performance for PlayStation 4. And just to let you know, guys, this podcast might run over time today because there's a lot to go through.
So much to talk about. This week has been crazy for tech and gaming.
I know.
It's like they're piling everything at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's December, so you're getting, obviously, to the sale season. Like, I was at... I went to EB Games the other day.
Yeah.
And I had a chat to one of the guys. He says, it's crazy. It was Thursday night. And then you had a chat with the JB guys.
JB Hi-Fi, yeah. They were like, it's been insane.
Yeah, so everybody going to JB, though, are buying console versions of it.
Yes,
right?
yeah, the PS4
And
version.
since there's not many PS5s out there, people are playing it on the console. So I suppose from one side, the PlayStation 4. This is the PlayStation 4, right? Not the PlayStation Pro.
This is just the PlayStation 4, yeah.
So it's pretty bad on that.
Yeah.
What do you think I mean, obviously you can turn down the quality to like 720p and just lock it down there and trying to get 30 frames out of it. But obviously there is some performance patching that needs to be done that just hasn't been done for the console. And I mean, look, I want to hear about your PlayStation 5 experience more because to be honest, I don't think many people are in the situation that I'm in, where I have a Ryzen 9 5950X and a 3090, completely water cooked.
Water cooked, yeah.
And also overclocked both. So I'm not the best person to describe my...
you are in the minority. You are the top 0.1 percentile of gamers.
That's it's unfair to me to talk, but I will mention how it is on that platform. And he says, IMO, the game could look better on PlayStation 5. Looking forward to the next gen version of the game. I agree with Antony because I've played it on PC. Now, tell me your experience of the PlayStation 5 version of the 45 minutes you played.
Yeah. It keeps getting more the more we talk about the 6 hours you played. It was actually 12 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so I switched it on.
Have you got the box?
Yeah, it's somewhere in the drawer behind you. So it's like the day one edition. And okay, so got the game, installed it, which took forever. And you know the character creation screen? Once you get past the menu, I saw the character and I was like, oh my God, it's a potato. Like, it just looked very undefined.
It didn't look any better on PC, by the way.
Yeah, it just looked a bit bland and a little bit blurry, and just nothing was standing out to me, like, screaming that this is an amazing, like, game. Yeah, we got some postcards. And yeah, I wasn't blown away, and I was like, okay, yep, I understand. This is a PlayStation 4 game that's, they're optimizing only certain aspects of this game to the PS5. So when I started playing it, once again, this is the game. Yeah, this is the PlayStation 4 experience. And I was playing as a nomad. That was the choice that I took in the game. And near the beginning, you get to jump into the car and some guy is talking to you. And then the game allows you to move. So I was like, okay. So I put on the accelerator, drove out of this garage, and I was like, oh wow, like it's real smooth. And I was just boosting straight out of it. Like ran over 2 people. There was like signals for, oh, there's a warrant for arrest out for you. Then these like 7 hillbillies came running at me with shotguns, just like gunned me down and killed me. And it was like, wow, this game's insane. Yeah, it was just like the first 2 minutes of game time. Yeah. So next time I drove out slowly out of the garage because I was like, wow, yeah, this game punishes you. Yeah. So, but it was really, really smooth 60 FPS. That's what it felt like.
On the PlayStation 5.
On the PlayStation 5, very smooth 60 FPS, if not more, maybe.
What difficulty did you play?
The normal.
Oh, okay.
Normal difficulty, yeah. And I just started playing. I was like, okay, yeah, I see. We're paying for the visuals here, but we're getting some sweet frames, and just running around. And the first guy that I started to talk to, like a random in the hillbilly town, and his mouse not even moving. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Bugs. Here we go. Just the little glitches here and there. And I'm like, this game could be just breathtaking if they just waited an extra year.
But okay, like those sort of bugs to me are like, whatever. Like in an RPG, it happens all the time. Like in The Witcher 3, I was playing it the other night on Friday on Wednesday night. Yeah. And there was glitches in there, like clipping and things not connecting. Yeah, and this was in the new area, the DLC.
Oh yes, the Toussaint.
Yeah, Toussaint. Yeah. And the thing is, like, it happens all the time with RPGs. Like, it's hard. Like, again, I'm just sort of being devil's advocate here, but like, a mouth moving isn't going to like. I don't think it should be a reason to refund the game. Do you know what I mean?
No. But
this 17 frames a second is certainly a reason you should refund the game. Oh, here we go. Let me point to there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I look
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Okay, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just these little bugs and things that really pull you out of the experience. And it's not that one off, but it's that consistency where like things are clipping through the floor. Oh, my wheels are going through the road, and
Yeah.
you know, and you start floating away, and then some guy's eyeball just kind of falls out, or there's a lady walking with like without any legs, and it's like, oh wow, this game's, you know, it needs a lot of patches here and there. Like it just feels, they really rushed it out there, and I just wonder how they're going to control the damage. Like, what is the damage control going to be like moving forward?
I'll tell you what the damage control is. Buy a PC.
Yes, but you
so
know,
I'm on version 1.03.
Right.
Which is not the same version the consoles are on.
I think we're on 2, aren't we? 1.02.
You're one version behind, or like 0.01 of a version. And I can see exactly what they've done. Each patch is like about 10 or 15 hours, I would say 10 hours worth of main quest.
Right.
So for each patch, you can imagine that up until 10 hours of the main quest, you won't experience any bugs. The next patch will be the next 10 hours. That's what they've done. They followed the incremental tree from like main quest out. And if you go to some obscure like side quest mission, you'll experience a bug here and there. But what they've tried to do is make the core experience here. So I'm expecting like 1 or 2 versions to like be fully playable from start to finish. And I'm not saying it's not right now, because my experience has been, I've had one crash.
Yeah.
And actually this morning I had another crash, but it wasn't the game. It was the my computer, because I've overclocked it. So Windows, and I'm on Insider. So Windows Insider crashes. And the reason I know is because we don't get the little pop-up to say, hey, your game's crashed, or, you know, Cyberpunk is flatlined, send report.
Right.
So that's when the game crashes, but my whole PC crashed. So that's irregardless. I don't count that as the game, unfortunately. I don't think anybody should. But I've had one crash from the game, and 2 BSODs from my computer. I've seen 2 T-poses.
No, T-pose.
And I've had one bug that made me have to reload a game. And that was a character was stuck inside a building.
Oh, right. Okay.
I couldn't walk through and get to that building.
These bugs have been so varied. Like I've heard about like somebody running, but they're sitting in the car. Like the main character was just like running, running animation.
See, I guess I'd like to hear if anybody's been playing it on the PC, and I just haven't experienced game-breaking bugs that I went, like I played straight for like 7 hours on day one, and I got the one T-pose and one crash after 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I just opened it up again. Like loading is really quick. Like opening up the game is really quick, and it saves continuous non-stop. The autosave is going in the background, and F5 is like a really quick save. Like obviously it's quick save.
Yeah.
And I never felt like I lost progress. Absolutely not. And I'm playing on very hard, by the way.
Good man.
So I have also a different experience of the AI. Like they're deadly. Like
vicious.
Like one shot kills to you, and obviously there's different levels and different like characters and weapons and the things that they can do. And I just haven't experienced any of these game breaking bugs. I haven't. I've been actually. I would give it a 90, like out of 100. If with the bugs that I've seen, I would give it like a 94.
Yeah. And
the only reason I say 94, well, not the only reason. There's a couple of things. I'll talk about issues later on today, like on the podcast. But I have to admit, the driving is odd.
Yeah.
It feels better in first person than in third person.
Oh, really?
I find driving first person absolutely fine. Love it. I'm perfect. I can make all the corners, right? But as soon as I go into third person, some reason I just can't make the corners anymore. And I'm not sure if anybody's else experienced this, but I find it really hard to drive the car in third person.
Wow. I found that the car was too fast. I was like, whoa. Like,
oh, really? Okay.
Like really, the Nomad mission
Maybe
anyway.
The cars are really different.
I was just like flying all over the show.
Each car drives really differently.
Oh, right.
It's actually substantially differently.
Yeah.
I would also like to say that if you're in third person, it's the best way to enjoy the city. The verticality of it is just incredible. The color.
You said in first person, right?
A third person. So to enjoy the city,
Oh.
I drive in first person, but to
Right.
enjoy the city,
Oh, right. And
you have to
driving
be in third person to
Gotcha.
see it.
Yeah.
Because you just don't get to see it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
That makes sense.
The city is incredibly detailed. You go into an alleyway and there is crap everywhere. It's a dirty city, but it's so fleshed out. It's designed by hand. Holy crap. The whole city is designed by hand. And I understand that people are up in arms about the bugs, but spend a few hours just exploring the city. And if you don't have any bugs.
Yeah. Like,
And
I'm floating.
You'll notice that it's just packed full of contents. Oh God, the comments are going crazy. I should go through them in a second.
Right,
but,
right.
It's just absolutely incredible, the details of the city. But you started as Nomad, so you haven't even got to the city yet, right?
No, like I'm out in the desert, there's like a few houses here, there's like a shack, there's some bushes, like it's pretty barren, like barren wasteland and hillbillies cooking in a barbecue.
Yeah.
Like it's just, the theme is captured it's just perfection, how they captured that theme. And, you feel like this like Western US kind of Texas style, like, and you get approached by a sheriff and he starts talking to you. It's very like Hollywood Western movie.
Man, wait till you get to the city. Holy crap.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, this part that I was in the game is I was driving through like what it felt like a checkpoint or like a border control type scenario, and you could already feel the intensity of like the choppers flying above you and there being like border patrol everywhere, and you're like, oh my God, like I think I'm gonna be driving into the city. It's getting really intense. There's like police force everywhere. Like it's really good at building this intensity, this tension in the game. And that's just like the first however many minutes just starting the game.
And they've got some really cool themes, like the core. So I went corpo, and I really like the core. Like it feels like Blade Runner.
Okay, right.
Just like even there's music. We watched the last Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, amazing.
That music, that like thin, like
like
yeah. It's what's the name of it? It's called a
or like a lo-fi type thing, or
no, it's what you just said, but there's a name for it. It's a synth.
Synth, right? Yeah.
It's so synthy, and it's dark, and it's raining, and I'm just like, holy, people were a bit disappointed when they saw the trailer for the first time because it was like, oh, this is not dark and gritty cyberpunk. It's like, because there's daytime,
of course,
and but when nighttime comes around and it's raining and you're walking through the city, and there's just crap exploding everywhere, and you've got like cybernetic fucking everything. You just it's great.
Wow.
And it seriously experience it. I can experience it like Blade Runner, and then I can experience it like a Deus Ex, and I can experience it a little bit like a GTA style in the bright city, Miami Beach, Miami Vice. Like it's neon colors everywhere.
Right.
So there's a lot there that you can experience. So the other one is the Street Kid, which is like the more street, and they've captured 3 very different
distinct themes, right?
Yeah. And next time I'll probably do Street Kid and then do Nomad to try. I just got to the Nomad area.
Right. Yeah.
Out of the first me going through Corp.
Out of the city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people say that Nomad is a great place to start because you're this foreigner, and it's a great area to kind of make your way eventually into the city from these badlands, and it builds that momentum. As opposed to being dropped in the city, like right in the center of it. It builds that experience when you reach the city and go, wow, okay, yep, I'm a newbie here. What's going on here? Whoa, what's this? What's that? Like, you get overwhelmed.
And I want to say, like, you guys, we'll talk about that. Devolution's talking about PP customization.
PP. Oh, dude. Yes, one big letdown. The PP.
Not big enough?
Not big enough. Not big enough PP.
No horse peepees.
and boobies. Too small.
Too small.
Too small.
You know how we've just been talking about the theme.
Yeah.
And how well everything seems to just flow. The tension's there. The atmosphere's there.
Yeah.
That is why critics gave it the score they did and ignored the bugs.
Right. Yeah.
Because it sucks you in. Like you just ignore it because you like everything else that's going on. 90% of the experience is absolutely just breathtaking.
Oh yeah.
And that 10% bugs that get in the way, like I'm still not talking about this PlayStation 4 because that experience must be horrible. And I guess.
And rest in peace, console players.
I'm sorry, but it just, you know, I'd hate to see Cyberpunk get shat on just because of that, but it will.
It will.
It should.
Because
that's pretty embarrassing. Like, cut down the quality, remove the people. People be like, well, Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red could come out and just say, yeah, consoles aren't powerful enough to run everything. We gave you the best experience we could in trying to make it, you know, we removed all this neon lights and all the people and, you know, it's a bit barren, but hey, it's a 7-year-old console.
You know, they came forward with why there's so many crashes and issues.
Yeah.
And specifically for console players as well. Like every 20 minutes to half an hour, you get a crash. But they said because of so many assets, that the memory that are in the consoles and also low-end PCs are not able to register all of that going on. They said, yeah, we're aware there's just too much going on. There's too much information, too much data, too many assets,
That's
too
exactly
many physics. And yeah, your RAM is just like, bye-bye.
Because usually a crash, like anything that freezes your computer, it's usually a memory overflow. The most standard thing that happens, usually a program goes rogue and your computer crashes it to stop it from damaging your computer. So it's not, so a lot of people mistaken the crash as the program breaking, but it's actually your computer going, nah, I'm done. I'm just pulling the plug, right? I've had enough pulling the plug. So, you know, PlayStation has, and, you know, all programs have these sort of like fail saves.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, when you get a blue screen of death, it actually goes, I'm collecting all the data, because it goes, I'm shutting down the core kernel, but then it's got the other one that, you know, it's not the BIOS. It's like, anyway, doesn't matter what it is. Sure. So, yeah, so it crashes because there's a memory leak somewhere, and what they'll have to do is just limit it, manually create limits for each console, and set it that when you're in this area, it can only load this much, and it's a lot of. They would have tested this, but the map is so big, and the story is so varied. The paths you can take are so varied, like it's just incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. You see, something positive out of this, right? So CDPR is fairly big now. You know, we're not
number one on the Polish stock market.
Yeah, no, it's scary to think that number one on the Polish stock market. You know, they're on that big scale. You know, eventually they'll be swimming with the big fishes like the Rockstar and the
they're not as big as Rockstar.
And, no way. They're not. Yeah, they're definitely not. And it's not too much of a cause for concern because they have such limited projects to work on at any one time. You know, they have this Cyberpunk. They've got their Witcher card games. They've got Gwent. Yeah, they also have a third project that they're working on, like a secret project, or maybe some sort of a fantasy world. So they have so many staff, so many resources to actually fix this game as quickly as possible and keep patching it on the go. And you know, there's that focus, there's that promise, there's that loyalty, which you believe, you know that they're going to live up to that. You know that they're going to spend the time. They're not going to abandon this. This is their baby. This is their like one and only massive stream of revenue. So they're going to do everything that they can to make sure that it's patched accordingly. In saying so, they will burn many bridges along the way. Unfortunately, yes, releasing it in the state that it is, I think there was going to be a lot of upset players. And I think when we look at Metacritic tomorrow, for the console versions, there's probably going to be a lot of yellow and red. I already saw like 1 or 2 professional reviews that came out. Like it still hasn't been released officially. Yeah. And one of the reviewers gave it a 35 in the red. Wow. And he was like, yep, the state that it's being released in is basically just unplayable.
If this is the state that it's in and what you know, Digital Foundry has shown, I can see why it'd be 35 because you don't even get to experience.
Yeah, you don't get to play the
80% that makes it really good. Like I get it, you know, 10-20% might be bugs and you know, that might wreck your your experience a little bit, but these guys can't really even have the experience. They can't experience the themes. They can't experience the the story. They can't, and therefore it should be 35. It should be lower.
Yeah.
You know, actually, Nathaniel just said No Man's Sky. It could be the No Man's Sky.
It could be the No Man's Sky. Yeah.
But just to take a step back, Witcher 3, when it released, huge graphical downgrade.
Yes.
And they tried, like any company, they're like, oh, you know, we tried, but
we
you know,
yeah,
it was obvious. Like everybody compared that first scene when you walk into Novigrad and when you ride the
I'll be right back.
No worries. I'll talk to you guys then. Hi. When you ride your horse into Novigrad, you could see the bricks, and they were flat in the game that came out. But in the trailer, they were like curvaceous bricks, one-on-one, and there was no corners of the castle. And yeah, I mean, they only fixed it like 6 months down the line, I think, when they released the HD texture pack. I think it was that at that point.
Yeah, you know, I'm so happy I played The Witcher a year after its release. I got to experience it in the best possible shape.
But okay, see, that's exactly what I was going to go into next. Like, if you can't play it right now, don't play it. If you're on a PlayStation 4, don't buy it.
Yeah, don't buy it.
You're not going to experience... It's a good game. It's actually a fantastic game, and it's my number one game, like, straight away now. But I get to experience it, and the people who can't certainly shouldn't do it.
Yes.
But I also don't think you should go... Because we've got such a stark difference. On PC... very much less issues. On console, it's terrible. Like, it's a big difference. It's not like both are big buggy and both are having the same issues.
But also low-end PCs, you're getting those issues as well. And I feel once again, you are in the minority. If everyone had the level of tech that you have, then you know they would be getting close to your level of experience. You know, that fantastic gaming performance and visuals and all of that, with obviously the minor bugs here and there, because you have the machine that's capable of absorbing a lot of those weaknesses.
I think a big part is actually an SSD, and I bet you a lot of these performance bugs is an SSD. Yeah. Okay. So what I've been reading, there's a setting inside the game specifically for mechanical hard drives. You can flick that on, and you should see a much better performance on your computer. If you haven't had a chance to try it, do try it. I was going to just go through some comments. Welcome to Evolution. You have signed up to keep the news coming. Thank you very much. And Tony says, we've already read that. Sorry. Yep. Pog says, I notice a lot of people with their high-end cards complaining. My 1070 with the 8th gen i7 at 1080p was supreme. The odd glitch here and there, but I feel for those playing on other platforms.
Oh,
yeah, so another,
fantastic.
I guess, so 1070 at 1080p worked fine. I think your computer...
Tell me, Pog, how's your experience? How many FPS? Because I've got a 1080, and I want to play the game when I get the PC copy, which I'm sure is almost
Mine hasn't arrived either yet from Amazon.
I think maybe Monday or Tuesday I'll get it.
I'm going to be giving away a copy because I already bought it, so I'm just going to give away the code on the stream when it arrives.
Freebies.
So keep a lookout for that. It'll be on PC. Devolution says, small PP or big PP? Which PP did you choose?
Oh, big PP.
Big PP?
Big PP
yep,
all
we
the
all
way.
chose big PP.
I did big PP and big booby.
You went female...
Big PP.
With big PP and boobies.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Okay, so there was this whole thing about Cyberpunk not being woke enough. But hell,
it's the wokest thing on the planet.
It's like you can have a mixture of your genitals on the body. Like it goes, select your body type. It didn't say select your gender, select your body type. You want a male-looking body type or you want a female-looking one?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, good. But you can change everything in it. You can have a female face on a male-looking body with boobs and a
a ding dong.
A ding dong. So it's woke as hell. So that argument's gone out the door.
I felt a little bit weird and uncomfortable when I started playing the game. Like I was like, whoa, I've never played a character like this before.
Honestly, it doesn't matter at all. You can have a female voice and a male. It's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, it is crazy.
Chris says, going to try running Cyberpunk on my Ryzen 5 2600 and RTX 2060. I am not optimistic. Actually, it should be all right because the 2060 performs as a 1080.
Yeah, it's like a little bit better than a 1080.
Yeah, it should be all right.
Yeah.
And you've also got the RTX, but you have DLSS. Guys, use DLSS. I'm using DLSS. Otherwise, it's 60 frames. No, that's peasantry numbers.
Yes.
And Tony, who is Polish, I believe, says the game crashed like 3 times on my PlayStation 5.
Oh, no.
Have you had a crash?
No, but I haven't played it long enough. I only played like half an hour.
Pog says, good job, Casper. He went normal too. Jordan Von Bus says the game should not have been released for original PlayStation 4, Xbox One. But like Casper said, they promised it. And once you promise something, no take-backsies.
No take-backsies.
Pog says, I saw an old glitch on the PC version. Wasn't sure if it's the fact that my character was infected or it was a simple glitch. So one thing to note, there are glitches that happen in the game because of a story-based stuff.
Oh, right. It's supposed to be glitching.
Yeah, so there's some stuff there.
Cool.
Yeah, blue screens. Pog says he played for 10 hours without issue. Just the odd glitch. My screen just went wonky. Chris says third person. So Chris, third person is only for the cars.
Yeah.
Not in. And you know what?
Yeah, which is fair enough.
I have to say, the game plays really well in first person, and I am not regretting. Like, I am not mad they didn't go third person for.
Yeah, me neither. I feel like the design there is a perfect choice because you experience the movie as you play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are no cutscenes. Your life is a cutscene in the game.
All right, yeah, there's a lot of pee-pee talk in there.
Oh, lots of
lot of water
content.
talk.
Thanings, guys.
So let's keep going. So
all right,
I want to hear a bit more about your experience so far. So you didn't get any. You got the odd bug here and there with the wheels clipping.
Yeah.
But it played smoothly at 60.
It played smoothly. Yeah, I was just jumped into the car and I was rolling along and I was like, wow, it's like perfect. It's there's no stutters, no slowdowns, no tearing or anything. It was just rolling along, and I'm just driving through fields and through people, obviously, accidentally mowing those hillbillies down.
So will you play? Yeah. Will you play more?
I will, but here's my tactic. Okay, I'm actually gonna wait till I get a 3080 Ti, and that may be months down the line. But that's okay. There's also a double positive end to this because the game's going to be patched to hell by then, in 3-4 months time. So I'm going to have a 3080 Ti. I'm going to play this the way it's supposed to be played because I do not like to aim with the controller. There's just something about it. I know some people are quite good at it. Kudos. You got the skills. And then some people put some aim assist on. But I struggle with that. And I just don't feel that is the right way to play this game. And you want to be immersed like in front of a monitor because it's like you're seeing it through the eyes of the protagonist.
That's why I have an ultra-wide monitor.
And when I'm sitting back on my bed and playing on a big screen TV, it's not the same experience. Yeah. But when I'm just locked in and engaged, it's like, wow, I am this character. I'm right in the action.
If you're playing a third-person game, the big TV is fine.
Yeah,
but when you're playing a first-person thing, it's all about that immersion that you don't get from sitting back on a couch. And I can't even think back so there's not many games you can compare this to, fortunately and unfortunately.
What was it? Fallout in my mind I was comparing this to a Fallout game when I first saw the visuals. I'm like, oh, this looks like a Fallout 4. And funnily enough, Digital Foundry did the exact same thing. Yeah. They were like, oh, well, Fallout 4, but, a lot less detail in that game, which is obvious. It's an older game and it's not as well designed as this.
So, there's a lot. Okay, so if we're talking about comparison to Fallout 3, I was a big fan of Fallout 3. That was one of my favorite all-time RPG games.
That's your jam.
The big difference with Fallout and this game is the map is much more condensed. It's much more detailed here.
Right.
In Fallout, you had little places that were littered around the map, and you had to walk ages to get to them, and you had little exciting spots. But a lot of it was just wandering the wasteland. The experience is, in part, wandering the wasteland, but yeah, it's wandering the wasteland without much of a anything in between. Here is you're constantly something in your face, right? Yeah. That's probably a big part of it. Fallout 4 had very, very bad animation, facial animation, character animation. It was horrible. It was stiff. Right. And it still is. Any Fallout game right now you play is stiff. This game, every single character you speak to, the animation, the way they sit, the way they look at you, the way they speak, the way they connect with their environment feels natural and real.
Organic.
It feels organic. And you just don't get that from any other Fallout game. And I haven't got that from an RPG. Even Witcher 3 is pretty
janky.
janky. Yeah.
Really? Because
Like-
I was mesmerized when characters were talking to you and there was this kind of like cinematic moment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
It's good.
It's so, yeah, it drew me in. I'm like, I'm watching a movie now.
But they've taken it to another level. Because it's first person, everything you see is for you,
Right.
right? Unlike with Witcher, where you've got Geralt's performance, you've got the other character and the way they interact,
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of like over the shoulder, like filming a movie as like you see that character, then you see this character as they're talking back and forth.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit disconnected because you get this sharp cut every time it changes to like Geralt going,
Oh.
you know.
Yeah.
So, but this is because it's first person and because where you are is where everything's happening. To look
Right.
there is where the action is.
Yeah.
And you need a mouse
Very
and
different.
keyboard. I'm gonna.
I know. I need a mouse and keyboard. I mean, God damn, the PlayStation 5 controller is the most comfortable controller I've ever held
Yeah.
in my hands. It's amazing, and yet I still want that keyboard and mouse action, because when I'm aiming and shooting at people, which I'm
Yeah.
sure I'm going to be doing a lot of that, the precision is just unbeatable on the PC version.
So, all right. Well, let me give you a little bit of a lowdown of what's it like.
Give
to
us some
play
lowdown.
Play on a 3090 and 5950X.
Godlike experience.
So I get about 75 frames in the city with
that's a lot.
DLSS unbalanced, with no RTX, and everywhere else it's about 100. 97, 100, right? 110 sometimes.
Fantastic.
And that's just, when you go into like side streets and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're in the open parts, it's a little bit lower. Driving around's like 80 frames a second. Feels absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I'm playing with HDR on. It's a bit glitchy at moments, but it was also glitchy on Horizon Zero Dawn. HDR is just... every game I've played so far, the implementation's been pretty bad, but it's not too bad here.
Yeah.
Looks really good, like the neon lights at night, HDR. Like, to me, it's HDR first and then RTX. That's the two things I think that make the experience actually different and better for the gamer. Now, gunplay, amazing. Stunning, brave.
Really?
Just brilliant.
That good?
I'm a first-person shooter person, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
first-person shooter games.
What makes it good? Why is the gunplay so good?
Okay. When you play Fallout, it feels like you're pushing guns through water.
Okay.
Here, it feels like it's sharp, and every time you shoot, it makes an impact. And when it doesn't, you know why. The guns feel very different from each other.
Yeah.
The guns have unique abilities that you don't get in a classic shooter like a COD. Abilities because makes the character set itself on fire. You don't get that in COD.
Yeah.
The shooting aspect of it is fantastic. I cannot say enough how smooth and I feel like my hand through the mouse extends onto the screen, and every movement I do is translated perfectly into the pinpoint where I want it to go.
And your trigger finger feels like it's really connected with that weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I feel like there's different types of shooting. Like you gotta hold it because it's gotta charge up a charge and then shoot.
Right.
It's so varied that every gun is so different. You're like, this gun looks cool. I'm going to give it a go. Oh, it plays completely differently. I have to change my play style to match this gun now.
Wow.
And the way I move around the action, the enemy, it's absolutely different. And you know how we had a bit of a comment about melee fighting?
Yeah. How it looked a bit janky. Yeah.
It's not. It's
Good.
brilliant. Holy
Very
crap.
good.
I was blown away. So I've been using a katana as a
Yes.
secondary weapon. You can have 3 weapons in a slot, in one slot. So 1 slot, 3 slots. Each weapon's got a slot.
Yeah.
And you don't use, you'd think you just go, I'm just going to go full katana build. And then just slice everybody up. There's a
Yeah.
time and place for each type of weapon.
Of course.
And it's so well balanced that you can't just use the one weapon and just go slicing around.
The game forces you to diversify.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And the katana itself is fantastic. Like, deals a lot of damage, and you got it in a pinch. But when you're out in the open, you're gonna get shot down really quick. And I'm playing on very hard,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think somebody playing on like easy or normal might just be able to get the katana and just shred through everything. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Um,
on normal, I think I took like 5 shotguns to the face before I was like, oh no.
Yeah. So driving cars, like I mentioned, a little bit weird at times, but every car handles very differently.
Very differently, yeah.
So if you find a car that works for you, it actually works. Then you're like, I'm going to pick that car every time. Story, don't even want to go into. It's brilliant.
Just amazing.
Just amazing, yeah.
Right.
It kept me sitting down for like 7.5 hours for the first time, like just nonstop. I couldn't step away because the story was so good. And I got to a point, I said, oh, fuck, if there's only like 20, 30 hours of main quest, I've just nearly done 10. I'm just going to take a step back and enjoy the other parts of the city.
Yes.
Because I just got so immersed. And I want to mention to everyone else, the trailers you have seen, the gameplay that CD Projekt has released is not the game story that you get.
Right.
It is not the game story you get.
Okay.
So
that's good.
So people are like, oh, well, they're spoiling so much. Well, they didn't. They didn't spoil shit.
Wow.
None of it happens the way they show it. I think they've made an alternative movie scene for it because even the life paths you choose, obviously they have a bit of difference altogether.
Yes.
But the way they've described the events of how things happen in the trailers is none of the life paths have that version.
That's fantastic.
You get to experience it for the first time. Just don't watch any spoilers.
Yeah. Stay off YouTube.
So guns. The technical abilities. So the technical abilities for the first time ever in like a game like this, where there's shooting and there's melee and there's this sort of tech stuff.
Yeah.
For the first time, I'm like, oh yeah, I actually probably should use this because that's the only way I'm gonna get past this character, or it's the only way I'm gonna like kill this guy. You actually have to. You'll have to use it. And again, it might be because I'm playing on like hard,
super hard,
like,
absolutely.
Hard,
I think
but it also forces you to use other aspects. And actually, one of the comments on it when you were when it was like when you choose the difficulty says you're gonna have to use all aspects of your character's abilities and stuff like that. I was like, oh yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah,
I want to experience everything. There was that interview with that lady who reviewed the game.
GameSpot person.
GameSpot. Yes. And she's like, 7 out of 10 too much water for Pokemon.
Sure, yeah.
And she did basically 7 out of 10 for this game and said, I didn't even play it.
Well, she played it, but I don't think she finished it.
She didn't finish it, and people were saying, "Oh, get somebody who likes RPGs." Actually, don't get somebody who likes RPGs.
Yeah.
Get somebody who doesn't like RPGs to review it, and then you'll get who this game is for. It's for people who like RPGs. Sure. A person who likes an RPG will give it a much better score. She was shocked that there was like events happening around her,
right?
That asked her to like do stuff, and she made that odd comment of like, the cops were like getting shot by, but I didn't want to help the cops. Like, why would I help the cops? That's a very American thing. Like, that's very much on par with like, it's very woke to be like against the cops. So I don't think it's anything to do with the game. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So you're trying to put a political twist on this
yeah,
game.
She was
leave the politics out of the game.
No, she made a comment because people were coming up and saying, you didn't even play the game and blah, blah, blah. And she made a comment on the podcast that she didn't want to help the cops. Yeah. But she said that because she was trying to be woke on the podcast.
Okay.
And she doesn't understand that in an RPG, let me rephrase. Her experience is because of her country's experience with the police force, has nothing to do with the game's police force, nor another person who might play the game.
In a fantasy world.
Yeah, her view of the world is skewed against what this thing is, which is an RPG in the sense of recreating a cyberpunk future. There's a lot of things that she said that I agreed with, but there's a lot of stuff that she said that makes absolutely no sense. So, if anybody's aware, this is based on the 2077 version of the board game. Sorry, not the board game. The that's like an imaginary game where you write the pen and pencil, pen and paper game.
Yeah.
But the whole history of it is based on the 2020 version, which actually has a book and has written out all these, like, who the gangs are, who the people are, who the, like, you know, who Johnny Silverhand is, and it writes out a history of who they are. The cyberpunk world here is actually a creation of what people thought the world back in the 80s would look like in the future.
Yes.
Where corporations rule and stuff, and you have, you know, you still have cars, but they're like converted to be like electric cars, sort of, and it's pretty lawless. You know, the police don't really have any power. There's not much of a government. You know, it's, you know, one of the things here is everybody was upset about an advert for a drink where the lady in the photo also had a bit of a pee-pee sticking out through the dress or the thing she was wearing. It's like, oh, they're all against transgender people.
It's like the opposite.
It's the opposite. Yeah. In the future, corporations don't care what gender you are, what sexual preference you have. They don't care. They just want to sell you crap. And this is a perfect view into how corporations will treat that stuff as they do it now. The only reason corporations get woke is to sell you more.
Yeah.
And this is like the epitome of what corporations in the future will do to sell you, whatever they want to sell you.
Yes. Take whatever angle is popular at the time.
And she didn't understand this. Her review, she should just go back to reviewing Pokemon and saying too much water. This wasn't a game for her experience. That needed to be somebody else who can look at this game and understand what comments it's making, why it's doing it, understand the history of it. Because as a professional reviewer, you have to understand the past, the present, and the future to actually judge it. And you can't bring your own ideals into it like, oh, I don't want to help cops.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the whole GameSpot thing, and then she didn't, you know, she said she didn't even want to do any of the side quests.
It's very difficult to remove prejudice out of it. I think to some extent everyone has a percentage of prejudice when they go into reviewing. But yeah, as a professional, you have to leave out as much as possible out of that. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, she swam against the grain, and that was her personal experience.
But at some point you're actually wrong. At some point you're actually like as.
Yeah, reviewing is a very gray area, right?
No, it's not. It is not a gray area. It is absolutely not a gray area.
It can be.
No, it can't. Do you know why? Because you've got a score. Right?
Yes.
And you've got your own opinion, but like a journalist or anybody else, you have to remove your biases and you have to judge it on the product itself.
Sure.
Right? And there are some criteria that a game has to fulfill. It has to be entertaining, has to be interesting, story, performance, and all that sort of stuff. There is actually a way to review it without bias, and there is actually an experienced game reviewer can actually review this game without creating this controversy where she was actually wrong. She gave an opinion without backing it up. That's what she did. If you're giving an opinion, you have to back it up with the reasons why. She did not. And I listened to the whole thing. And I'm just like, yeah, you're hitting on some points.
Right.
But how did you get, like math, like how did you get to that? Yeah, you've got the score correct, like the outcome correctly, but how did you get to that? There was barely any backup for any of the very controversial stuff. And the people who went after her were wrong too. Because they went that she didn't play the game. It's like, no, she played the game.
She played the game, yeah.
And she doesn't maybe necessarily like RPGs. That's not a problem. Get a person who doesn't like something and review it. But a professional reviewer has skills that they use and utilize in their job. And just because it's a video game, it's still a job. Like, let's be clear. And they utilize those skills to perform a job, not to give these opinions based on nothing. Right. They have to back it up with something, and she had nothing to back it up with, and people missed the point of the whole thing. Like, yeah, it's like getting. That's why YouTube reviewers have a much better standing because they have a passion and they back it up. Because the only way they can differentiate themselves from these big boys like IGN, GameSpot, and all this stuff is to actually have more value and more intricacy in their content. And give reasoning and actually do research about the product. The IGN mob go, no, maybe they've got some back, a CV full of I've reviewed these games or I've been working with these publishers or whatever they might be, but it's intangible unless you back it up with things. Yeah, you've got a history of, but she didn't have a history of being a good reviewer.
Interesting. Okay, maybe she was one of the odd ones out then.
Look, that was the only reason it came up is because it literally was the most controversial. Everybody was pointing to that being the smoking gun, and it's not. The game is bad with all the bugs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it shows that she's not the only one who has flagged this game as not being that great. Like, it's being okay, but not amazing.
No, but I guess what I'm getting at is her flagging of it not being great is actually incorrect. She didn't flag the right reasons for
failed
why
to provide the evidence. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. When somebody fails to back it up, provide tangible evidence, 100% agree with you.
Yeah, because there are other reviews. I think there was one that gave it 60, 70 or something.
Yeah, 60 or something. And they were focused on like bugs and things that were, okay, these are the issues with the product.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything, any of my preferences, because that I should leave that out of it. It's just, how does the product work? How does the product operate? Yeah.
And Tony says, do you think, and this is probably, we'll ask you this question, Casper. Do you think the game that ships with so many bugs is still deserving of a 10 out of 10 score? Why? Why not?
Yeah, look, that's an amazing question. I feel like that's been something that's been circling around a lot. I think, if the bugs are game breaking to the point that it completely breaks the immersion, it breaks the experience, then it is not deserving a 10 out of 10. Doesn't matter how good the story is, doesn't matter how good any of the mechanics are, the visuals are. If you get consistent game-breaking bugs, it does not deserve a 10 out of 10.
Sure.
It probably, I don't know, it might fit in with like a 5 or a 6 because of that, because of the technical issues, or depends on how this review is designed and how much weight is placed into each category when they're reviewing it. For instance, maybe 2 out of 10 is actually focused on performance. So if everything else is fantastic, but maybe there's glitches that break the immersion, okay, it's a 8 out of 10, something like that, right? So,
I'd like to add to that. I think it's an upside down pyramid. Okay. You start with performance, because without performance, you can't experience the ladder. And
it's like Maslow's
Maslow's thing. Yeah. So it falls apart. Like on a PlayStation 4, the reason it got a 35 out of 100 is because you couldn't experience the rest.
It. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So
but on PC, because performance was fine, the bugs weren't bad, and you could experience the part that is fairly intangible, which is a story.
Yeah.
Because a story, different to everyone, but it's a big part of why people play these things. And, with the reviewers, when it's like a movie review.
Yeah.
You go, okay, they've created this plot. There's a bunch of plot holes. There's a bunch of issues with the story. There's also inconsistencies with the characters' behaviors.
Yeah.
There's also you can say, this movie is crap based on the story, because you can understand the way a movie is structured. You've got, the start, I guess the plot, the twists and turns and stuff. Sure. And when you understand the story, you can judge it. You don't have to give an opinion. You can actually judge it on its actual merit.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just thinking about what happened with the whole Last of Us review, this was a perfect example of the flip side, where everybody that was a professional reviewer reviewed it and rated it quite highly based on how it performed, the performance of the voice actors and the fact that it had all these additional features where it was very approachable to, even people who were colorblind and all this kind of stuff. It played well, there's minimal bugs. The whole thing was, this is a great game, a 9 or a 10 out of 10. And then it came to the players who do not understand how to rate a product.
Yeah.
They all, well, not all. I'm not going to say all, because maybe 40-50% of them rated it quite poorly because they didn't like the storyline.
Yeah.
The component. They had a preference, and they rated it on their preference of the story. And that was like, what the hell are you guys doing? This makes no sense. Your rating system, obviously doesn't make sense, because it's not rated by professionals who rate it as a product of what it is.
Yeah.
So then,
because it's an emotional feeling, right?
It's an emotional
feeling. The story is an emotional thing.
Yeah. And then actually, this could take us into the next story, this segue of the show that we're on, because the Game Awards is an interesting showcase.
Yeah, let's talk about the Game Awards.
Yeah, let me just bring that
and
up.
Just to on Tony, I don't think any game actually deserves 10 out of like you can't give something 100% because there's always it's never flawless. No matter what it is, it should always receive something less because you need something to strive for.
See, I disagree with that because I feel like the 10 out of 10 is a way to tell the people, look, this is the best thing I personally have experienced. Right. Yeah, because it's the only way to tell somebody that, look, this is the best of the best.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably, like, it's not a perfect diamond. Well, then again, I don't know. Some diamonds are perfect.
I guess with bugs, you shouldn't be giving it 10 out of 10 because it's not perfect with bugs,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So if there's some glitches here and there, okay, now it's a 98 out of 100. Yeah. Okay, so the Game Awards just happened, and here are some game announcements.
What have we got?
Right? Oh wait,
you're scrolling way too fast.
Okay, sorry guys. Let's zoom you in a bit for all the grandpas and grandmas out there. Let's get some. No, we don't want to look at this. Okay. Best game direction winner. Okay, we had Last of Us 2. Yep, no surprise. Best narrative winner. Also The Last of Us 2.
Yep.
Best art direction. Ghost of Tsushima. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, because if art direction is like the way it looks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they captured that setting, didn't they?
Ghost of Tsushima certainly did. Last of Us. Well, that's a hard one because how do you judge like the end of the world sort of thing with zombies? Like it's a very...
Yeah, the setting, the theme, the apocalyptic. I understand, why they were in that category. Yeah. But obviously the world was a lot
nominated.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Seeing as they were an indie title.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic.
Best score and music, I actually... Ooh, you know what?
I was going to say Doom.
I was thinking that too. I was... but the music is phenomenal in Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, it's very emotive. It's very... dynamic. It's all over the show. Whereas Doom is like hardcore metal death.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII has more of a mixture. It's a bit more whimsical at times, classical, then also like upbeat and then intense. So it has more variety.
Right. Yeah. And it's more connected to what's actually happening.
Correct.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, Doom soundtrack off.
Yeah. What did you think of the soundtrack for The Last of Us? Because I remember playing with you and I don't remember having that much sound.
I know what you mean. I feel like the soundtrack wasn't as memorable. Oh, okay, some moments. I feel like the soundtrack, okay, now that I come to think of it, like a certain boss fight in the game was very memorable. Like, was full on.
But most of the time it was the quietness that got you. It was the lack thereof.
Yeah, I think the soundtrack was a lot more subtle. And then it only kind of kicked in. The crescendo was kind of like the climax or the end of the game, whereas like I guess you have the running theme throughout Final Fantasy VII because there was a lot of key events that kept happening.
Yeah,
so that makes sense. I understand that. Best audio design winner.
That's exactly what we just saw. Like it was the atmosphere, the movement,
like when you're rustling through the trees, or when somebody was talking to you, I felt like they were in the room. Like that's how good the audio design was. Yeah.
I have to say, Cyberpunk's got some really nice audio too. Yeah. I've been playing it with 5.1 surround sound, really like boosted up, and it's impressive. But I don't know because like it's just there's constantly a buzz of the city,
right?
And it's definitely different from Last of Us, where it's the subtlest sound has the ability to like affect you.
Yes.
Rustling and stuff like that. So
yeah, like a can rolling down the street. Best performance winner. Oh man, I agree with this like 1,000,000%.
Oh, Abby,
this lady, Laura Bailey, who was playing Abby, she was phenomenal. Her voice acting. Yeah. Sometimes when she got so emotional, there was one scene in particular when she was just like, wow, just screaming her lungs out. I was like, oh god, this is affecting me.
I always say like if an actor can make you hate them so much, they've done their job really well.
Hate so much, but at the same time
have emotional range.
Emotional range and understand their perspective as well.
Sure.
It's like, I get your conviction. Like at the same time, So that was good. Games for Impact winner. Now I don't know what this category falls into, but tell me why by Dot Nod Entertainment.
Oh, that's like the story driven ones.
Oh,
so all those ones are like not all of them, but I think Tell Me Why by, tell me why, I think is like a story. Hang on, let me just...
Must be right, because what do we got here? It found Kentucky Route Zero. That sounds like the KFC prequel. Spiritfarer by Thunder Lotus Games.
This is the whole story one. Remember this one?
Right.
So it's like a page turner almost. So it's an interactive story.
Yeah,
I see it. It's usually, those games are usually very emotive, very emotional, very connected to the characters are built really well. It's like watching a TV show with a lot more character development, and you get to take part with it.
Yeah.
So it's very engaging. Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe Detroit Become Human was probably on the list at one point at one time.
Yeah, but see, that's not.
Or is that too interactive?
That's too far in the interactive
realm.
This is very much like page by page. Yeah.
Yeah. Best ongoing game winner. This kind of surprises me.
Does it?
Yeah. So
I think the comments literally pointed it out before. No Man's Sky is like the one game that just keeps on giving.
See, but what I understand this category, best ongoing game, is like a game as a service. And I thought that
continuous update of it getting better.
Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the game that keeps getting growing and growing. I think a couple of years ago it was Siege, where it tanked on release and has become one of the biggest on competitive shooters.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's like the comeback game.
Yeah.
Best indie game. Oh, of course. Yep. I keep hearing great things about this.
Have you not played it yet?
No, but the art style is gorgeous.
It's fantastic. It's a fantastic game. It's like it's what what Diablo 3 could never be, but it's similar.
Wow. Amazing.
It's so much more fun. Yeah.
And made by a company that's like 1/10 the size.
Isn't it Polish?
No, I think it's Supermassive Games, is it? Supergiant Games, yeah. It's like a team of 15 or 20 people, a really small crew.
Ghost Runner was the other Polish game. Yeah. Polish. Don't scroll too fast because you're spoiling it.
Am I? What am I?
Yeah, just scroll up to the end. Yeah.
Spoilers. Best mobile game winner.
Yeah, not surprised.
Not surprised. Okay, next one. Best community support winner. Fall Guys.
Yeah. They're very interactive with their community and they take on a lot. Man, I was at a drinks on last Saturday.
Yeah.
And we literally just played Fall Guys, like 7 of us.
Wow.
And we had a blast. We were laughing, and it was such a good game, such a positive game.
Really?
There's just no negativity in it.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
It's just
like goofy,
people trolling,
really
but it's goofy. Yeah, it's super fun. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Best VR AR.
Oh,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do we even have to talk about it?
Half-Life Alyx is the quintessential reason to buy a VR. Like,
all the critics were like, it's amazing.
When you make, for the first time, somebody made a AAA game for a VR, for the VR. Yeah, it's good. And it plays well on every type of one. Star Wars Squadron was not a VR game.
Marvel's Iron Man VR, that was, I don't know, man.
People had it because that was the PlayStation 1. And, like, to me, they're like, okay, what this list there, Dreams, Marvel, Star Wars, like... Yeah. Oh, because, we couldn't really find any other VR games. So
The Walking Dead sounds interesting. Like, that would kind of be cool if they did it right. But obviously, Half-Life Alyx, man.
I'm into VR. And, I invested a lot of time and effort into it. And that never came up as something to play. The Walking Dead.
Wow. Maybe it's a console exclusive, I wonder.
It could be, yeah. I think Marvel is... Sony exclusive.
Now this one, I already know who's gonna be the winner.
Hang on, can you tell me who the list is of?
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know, but look at the title: Innovation and Accessibility Winner.
Oh, that must be.
Of course, right? Yeah. So we look at the options. Yeah. Wow, Valhalla was on the list. Wow.
But I'm surprised this is the only one that was on.
Hyperdot, Grounded, Watch Dogs, Legions. Yeah.
I have to admit, Battlefield 3 had some amazing settings for accessibility.
Okay.
Color changes. It allowed people to rebind keys without getting done for like hacking.
Right.
And I think I saw not an interview, but it was like a doco with like a guy who plays with like his mouth and like breathes through a straw and stuff. He was playing Battlefield. I was like, holy, he's doing better than me.
Yeah, he's owning you with his breath.
Do we need some light?
Yeah, I think so. It's getting real dark. It's getting spooky. Maybe we'll flick on the big giant magic one. Best action game winner. Patrick, what do you think?
What's the choices?
The choices are Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, Doom.
Oh, no, so close.
Who was it?
It was Hades.
Yeah.
Best action game.
No, I don't think...
Yeah,
I don't think Hades is an action game.
It's quite odd, right? Like,
I'd
wow.
call it an RPG. Like, or a... What's a top-down RPG? It's called
it's like isometric.
RPG.
RPG.
Best action game? Okay.
It's interesting. Best action adventure game. Oh, Last of Us 2. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Ta-da.
Oh, I can't. I'm watching this other screen.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. It's actually
Best action adventure game. There's not much choice.
Okay.
Like Star Wars.
I think it's actually, Marvel, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima. I would say between these three. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Assassin's Creed hasn't gone down well with people. The story's a bit average apparently.
Really? I hear the story's really good.
I've heard otherwise. I've heard the story
Wow.
was average, but the gameplay's alright.
Yeah.
The
dog's having a moment.
Dog's having a sneeze. Marvel, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. Is that?
I think maybe this is too short. Maybe that's the criticism.
Yeah.
It's not a full game. I reckon this was a very close second.
It would have been
the
between
story
that.
is good, but not amazing. Not amazing.
Action adventure. What would you define that as? Like the fun and the excitement of playing it?
I guess, action adventure. I feel like if Uncharted was during that year, it would win. If Uncharted 4 or something.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. What's
Okay,
up next?
best RPG winner. Yeah, what do we
there
got?
there wasn't even an RPG in that year that really made an impact. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII.
It's
I
mean,
mean, it's a remake. Do you know
it's
what I
a
mean?
remake,
Like,
and it won.
it's
But it's a
incredible.
remake of the greatest RPG. So it's like, what do you do, man?
Yeah.
Or
How
one
do you
of-
not win?
Maybe not the greatest, but one of the greats. Yeah. Persona 5 Royal, I think that would have been a close second. This game is like critically acclaimed. People love it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, best fighting game, MK11 Ultimate.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know enough about fighting games.
I think so. Like the visuals, just super, super awesome. It's a pretty good game. Yeah.
Okay.
Street Fighter 5 is probably maybe a close second. I don't know. That Street Fighter 5 got a lot of flame. Best family game. Animal Crossing. Yep. Everybody keeps talking about it.
It's brilliant.
Wait a minute. Crash Bandicoot 5? I thought it was Crash Bandicoot 4.
It's 5.
Is it?
Yeah.
So many Crash Bandicoots.
Oh, maybe it is 4. Maybe that's a mistake, actually.
Typo. We caught it.
Got a typo,
Best
guys.
sim strategy game winner. Of course. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I would have thought so as well. Best sports racing game winner. Oh, wow. What a surprise. Tony Hawk.
Oh, brilliant. It's brilliant. Like,
yeah.
I haven't touched it in a while, but
the competition is not that great, though, when you look at it.
like FIFA, NBA.
Yeah.
Like, they come out every year.
These
how
are
often?
generics. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dirt 5 is probably the closest one, I would say.
Yeah, Dirt 5 plays really well in the
Yeah.
ultra wide. It's brilliant.
Ultra. Best multiplayer game winner. Among
Yep.
Us?
Yeah, fair enough.
Makes
That's
sense.
been making big.
All right, now we get the goods. Okay, so what kind of games were actually announced at this thing?
Oh, no, hang on. We got
there's
some
more?
esports stuff.
Creative pre-show categories. Content Creator of the Year winner. Oh, now these guys don't matter. These are
Alana Pierce is on there.
Yeah, 'cause
Wow.
content creators, so like YouTube people like
Yeah.
us.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Nah,
fine, fine. All right,
screw
fine.
these guys.
We're content creators.
Yeah. What are the games?
No, go back, go down. I just want to show. I just want to. We're
Where are
taking
we
a
going?
break. Keep going.
Yes.
I want you to get to the. Okay, go down. Okay, keep going. Where are you now?
I'm going.
Oh, yeah,
where
go down. Okay, go down.
Okay,
go
there,
down. Yeah,
there.
no, keep going
Vin
down.
Diesel. Oh
Yeah,
my
he's
God.
doing a Ark survival thing. Keep going. Just keep going.
Wow. We
Everybody
don't
just-
care about him.
Now I want to
Okay.
go to the. I want to go to the suggested.
Ooh, perfect dark.
suggested stories. Keep going. I love this
look
shit.
At these games. Oh, Sephiroth. Wow.
What?
What?
Where are you?
Where's
Keep
the-
going. Keep going.
I
Keep
keep-
going.
I keep going.
Keep going. Keep going.
I keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Right. What are we
Keep
looking
going,
at?
keep going, keep going. Where this? Because you have ads on. I love this crap. Okay,
Hello
so
there. $2.
$2
All
delivery. So
summer
that's alcohol delivery. Keep going.
Yep,
and they
this
always
lady's still
use
here. Oh, look at that.
Keep going. Oh, it was just in there. If you scroll up.
Oh, I bet it was. Was it? Why was it a funny one?
Yeah, it's always hilarious. This stuff's always funny.
Oh, it's glitching.
Keep going. Yeah. This is the stuff. Okay, go from the top. Just go. This stuff's hilarious. So okay, stop here. So these are ads for tech. Yeah, just stop here. These ads, right? These ads have been banned in the UK because they have this game that you're looking at. Scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just use your little scroll wheel. Yeah, there you go. So it says here, Hero Wars, right? Many have failed before. Will you complete the trial? If you Google Hero Wars but don't do it now.
Right.
It's not the same game.
Ah, liars.
Right? So they troll you by saying, it's like really hard and you just got to pull the thing and anyway.
Yeah.
Bullcrap, right? Keep going. This is hilarious. Now they're advertising, enjoy the next level of clean with Philips Sonicare. Okay, that's Philips being Philips. Keep going.
What is that, a toothbrush?
Yeah, I think so.
What's
this
one?
one?
What's this woman say? I've never been more important to buy Australian.
And so they do this ad, right? My favorite was like, Aussies over the age of 60 with no healthcare must read this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it leads to like a really stupid post, but they get really bad. Like this one's not too bad.
Free singles in your neighborhood.
Yeah. What's this one? Microsoft. Okay, so that's Tech Radar. So that's related. Keep going.
Yeah, so that knows me a bit.
What's this one here? Oh yeah, so is your super balance sign up?
Oh come on, guys, I'm not that poor.
But it's like these ads are so funny. Like nobody clicks on these things because they go, like, do people like read it and go, oh yeah, is my super balance high enough? Oh man, is it? I don't know. I need to click on this.
Should I be stressed? Do I have any money?
Yeah. Keep going. Is there another one? No, that's getting back to PC
Cheapest
stuff.
10
Yeah.
Gen
So there's,
okay,
if you guys ever look at, I think I only really recently noticed because I've been using my work computer and I haven't got ad blocker on here. And you read an gaming article and you get to the bottom. It's like Aussies over the age of 60 must read this. I'm like, I'm on a games website. Like what am I gonna be buying? Like, I'm not thinking about my super. I'm not thinking about my future at all.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, did we get an announcement for games?
Yes. So let's look at some games. Okay.
Wait, what's this?
New Super Smash Brothers. Okay, so that's a character from a new game. I don't care about this, but look at this Perfect Dark.
Wait.
Let's see.
What? Wait. Why does that name seem familiar?
Oh, I think that used to be a franchise, didn't it? A
movie franchise?
Nah, like a big game franchise. Perfect Dark, okay. Wasn't it? So this is I'm guessing.
Pog says old people click on it. Yeah, I bet they do. They get scammed a lot too. That's sort of the.
This must be. I want to say Xbox exclusive, right? It's got like the Xbox icon.
Are they doing exclusives?
Well, yeah, but like
exclusives.
Oh, I don't know.
Why does this name seem so familiar?
I think you must have like played this on PC or something in the past, right? So what is this? Zoning in on some area. Wait, this doesn't feel like the game that I thought from the past. Perfect Dark. I don't know what it's kind of futuristic. I have no idea where this is going. Is this like a
There's some rich people,
game?
There's some poor people, maybe there's a corporation.
All right. We got some action going on here. So disaster happened.
Yeah.
So it's like a lab of some sort, right?
Yeah, it looks like shit's growing really fast.
It's kind of like Resident Evil laboratory.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's like the camera's real crazy. It's like this droid flying around.
Okay, dead people.
Right.
Oh.
Is this the protagonist?
Must be.
Oh, okay, there's like an apocalypse happening.
It's happening in Egypt.
Perfect Dark.
Okay, where is this from?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds very familiar, right?
Yeah,
but
it does.
There you go, brand new game. Oh, there's something from Mass Effect as well.
Yeah, the remake.
Is it?
Yeah, they're remaking.
The last world premiere before the Game of the Year award was given away was a vague one for Mass Effect. Before the teaser ended, the screen faded out to a simple message, Mass Effect will continue.
Yeah.
So you sure it's not a sequel?
I'm pretty sure. No, wait, hang on. It might be both.
Could be.
Because they're remaking the whole thing. Dude, Perfect Dark has 97 Metacritic. It's from 2000. It's a Nintendo 64
what?
shooter.
Is it?
That's That's insane.
What's it about?
Yeah, let me read it out for you. So Perfect Dark is a first-person shooter developed by Rare and released on the Nintendo 64 video game console in 2000. It is the first game of the Perfect Dark series and follows Jonah Dark, an agent of the Carrington Institute Research Center, as she attempts to stop an extraterrestrial conspiracy by rival corporation Datadyne. The game features a campaign mode where a single player must complete series of levels under certain difficulty settings in progress and to progress through the story. It also features a range of multiplayer options, including cooperative mode, traditional deathmatch settings, and computer-controlled bots. It is a spiritual successor to Rare's 1997 first-person shooter GoldenEye 007.
Whoa, that sounds
It shares
cool.
shares the same features, blah, 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 and runs on the same engine, or an updated engine of it.
Yeah, of course. 2020.
Right, and we are
Right.
getting a new GoldenEye, or a James Bond game.
Yeah, so we hear from Remedy, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow, they're bringing back the 90s.
Bringing back the 90s, yeah. Oh,
So we
the
got
2000s.
Microsoft Flight Simulator to Xbox Series X. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think
wow,
that will perform all right.
Yeah. Oh, they'll have to. Yeah.
Oh, Back for Blood. Do we get a trailer?
Oh,
Or we
is
just
this
get
a
a
Left 4
picture?
Dead successor?
Yeah, I'm guessing this is
Oh
Left 4
my
Dead.
goodness,
Why no
that's going to be
trailer?
really exciting for a lot of people who still play that.
How come there's only like one trailer? Oh, this one has
Dragon.
a
Oh,
trailer.
is there a new Dragon Age? What?
Yeah, Ark, this is some Vin Diesel punching dragons. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Dragon Age official teaser. Should we have a look?
Okay, I loved Inquisition.
Is it
I
like
loved
a a
It's-
turn-based thing?
No, it's an RPG. Oh, it's
All right.
both. You can play both in live mode
Yeah.
and in turn-based mode.
Right. I love how the dog is just staring out the window. The dog's like, whoa, what's
No,
going
there's
on out
somebody
there?
out there.
Oh, here we go. BioWare. Right.
Yeah. No, this is EA. I love Dragon. You know, when I was younger and I played the first Dragon Age,
Yeah.
I was so disappointed because the trailer made it out to seem that you could turn into a dragon.
Oh,
but you
and
couldn't?
you never did.
No,
Wow.
you never
Well, this
could.
looks like kind of futuristic, but also
Oh, I'll play it.
Medieval.
Like Dragon Age, every time I played it, I've had a blast. The story's
great, is
really
it?
good. The characters are great, and you have multiple characters in a crew.
well, how does the gameplay work?
It's third person, very similar to The Witcher.
Oh.
Like you've got monsters, you
Oh,
walk
really?
around places. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
But you've got obviously like magic abilities and stuff like that. Obviously, the worlds were never that detailed. It played more like WoW
Oh, okay.
because like Inquisition was very bare. I remember maybe it was just one of the maps, but it was very like linear and a little bit bare. Like linear
Yeah.
in the sense of like you just travel to these certain locations and you just sort of moped around there and did some quests.
Right.
But it was never like an open world. And then the other Dragon Age, the first one, Origins, or maybe just number one, that was very linear because you went through forest, but it was just one path to take,
Yeah.
and then the paths would diverge to go to other locations,
Oh, wow.
but it wasn't open at all. But great stories, like they're usually like, and I think you get to make decisions and stuff, and there's characters, and this is one of the games that EA just hasn't wrecked yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God, EA. Don't wreck this one, please. Well, who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
Oh, New Among Us,
Among Us
yeah.
map.
Okay,
Yeah,
Fall
Fall Guys,
Guys,
Ultimate
yeah.
Knockout Season 3, Master Chief and Fortnite. Oh, go
Oh,
away, Fortnite.
Do we need to talk about the fact that the new Halo game has been postponed to 2021, like in a year's time?
Yeah. It's late 2021. I think that's what we kind of expected. Like, because it's not going to be a launch title, and we knew that.
Well, it was supposed to be, but
It's
then
supposed
the
to be,
graph-
but then the
graphics
outcry
look
from
so bad.
it looked very,
yeah.
very bad, and obviously they don't want a really bad launch,
No,
and they've got
absolutely
the
not.
money to delay it. Unlike CD Projekt Red, they're kind of forced to put it out there, but
Yeah.
Microsoft can be like, we'll release it in 10 years. Yeah. We are off K. Don't know what this is.
Maybe a music game?
Is it? Okay, we'll just quickly take a peek at
Oh,
this.
it's like episodic.
Is it episodic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
It looks like gorillas.
Yeah, it does look like gorillas, kind of.
It does
Right.
look at the head bobs. Like that's
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sold on this.
Is this sound coming through for everyone else? Or
Nah,
we're
there's no
blocking the
sound.
Yeah, so
No
Black
s-
Lives Black Trans Lives Matter. Oh my god.
Really?
It's woke as. Look, go back.
What, on the shirt or
On
something?
the shirt. Look, go back one more. Black Trans Lives Matter.
Whoa, that's ultra woke.
That's
Next
very,
level.
that's like you got Black Lives Matter and then you got trans and then like it's just woke.
So woke. Amazing wokeness.
Takes Two.
It Takes Two. What is this? Oh, EA game. Oh god, it's gonna be a disaster, guys.
Whoa.
Book of Love.
That's
okay.
creepy.
Is this an adult game?
No. Look, that looks cool.
Looks cool.
Hey, look at us going. Oh, it's gonna be crap.
Yeah.
And then, like,
it's like
it
like
has to be for the PlayStation
game.
It has to be for the PlayStation.
Yeah. Whoa.
Look at us, like 30-year-old men going.
I know.
Oh, how
look
exciting!
at this out.
Because like we don't all just want adult games all the time. So
No,
we
we
just
want
want to have a bit of
something
fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that the?
Oh.
Does this get like really deep?
Oh. There is a lot of kids games that get really deep
Yeah.
out there. Yeah, that's
Love
great.
is like
No, it
purple.
looks cool. If it comes out on PlayStation,
It probably will. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a multi-platform. Wow, this is a long trailer.
oh, you know what I'm guessing is
Yeah.
that the two people got divorced and then they got put into this.
In this game.
Yeah, and then
To
they gotta,
work
like,
as a team.
Yeah.
To save their marriage.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's all coming
So,
together.
guys, in the future, when a divorce happens,
You'll be
they
playing
just send
a
you into a
game
video game.
to hash things out. Hopefully
yeah.
not Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, no, maybe
Finish him.
maybe you're a psychiatrist will like decide what game you require to get you back together.
Yeah, they'll be like, I recommend The Last of Us.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
It looks cool. No, all right, let's move on.
All right, yeah, let's move on. It looks very cool.
It looks quite deep too.
This is season. This looks like a story type game.
Story time.
Story time game. What's he doing? Just listening to some beats.
I mean, that looks very pretty.
Wow, this looks like
it's a video. I'm not sure if it's gameplay.
like an anime movie. That's what it looks like. The guy who made the many anime movies. You know?
No, I don't know. Pixar?
No, not that. Like, I mean Japanese anime.
Oh. I mean,
This looks.
what? It's
I like
I don't.
our art style.
Yeah. You know what I really don't like? I don't like when games like get announced and they don't actually show you what you'll be doing.
What you'll be doing, yeah, it's too mysterious.
Yeah, like is this? Maybe this. Oh, look, he's walking around. Yeah, look,
Oh
click on that.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
there you go.
there we go.
Oh, gameplay.
Oh,
wow,
beautiful.
Maybe it's like a journey. Maybe it's like Journey.
I think you'll certainly. I mean,
Yeah,
even
it
the art
looks-
style is very similar to
wow.
Journey. That
It's
looks
quite
great.
pretty.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
PlayStation 5. Yep.
Is that a exclusive?
Yeah,
then?
it'll be an
Oh
exclusive.
my god,
That's
more
brilliant.
PlayStation exclusives.
It looks great. Like
Amazing.
Road 96.
So what's this? Another.
Why not Road 69?
Yeah, giggity. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
A procedural road trip. Wow. I love how we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah.
wow, that's. I can just imagine how funky that could get. Like how interesting. Like,
Yeah. The visuals look kind of cool.
wow, that's creepy.
Oh,
like
so
the
you
guy
have
said,
like options. Oh wow, this
Oh.
does get crazy. Escape from a country in turmoil. Oh,
Oh,
now you're being
America.
arrested.
America.
Okay, so you're the person who sees everything through first person, and then you meet people that help you around in your journey.
Tirac.
This is interesting. I wonder how this is gonna like shape up.
Thousands of roads to freedom. Which one will you do? You know what? It reminds me of Hades in 3D because in Hades you have to find a way out of the thing and you like get stronger as you go, and then you still got to do the whole run without dying.
Right.
So you get strong enough to be able to do the run, the whole
Eventually.
escape. Yeah. So this seems like you've got all these roads to escape. So at some point you'll be like, oh yeah, I know how to escape because I can go through here. But if it's procedurally generated, then maybe not. I don't
Then
know.
that would be cool. Yeah, you like die on one playthrough, but the next playthrough is completely different.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what? I didn't expect that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that's, I mean, a lot of, we talked about this a little while back. Like there hasn't been a lot of innovation in regards to like player choice uniqueness, right? Even
Yeah.
Cyberpunk isn't that. Like Cyberpunk is massive because what they've done is they've given you multiple choices that lead to multiple different endings and
Yes.
scenarios, but they've all handcrafted it.
Yeah.
And procedural generation and like AI generation is literally the future of
It is.
game
That's the next
design.
step outside of what
Yeah,
we've been used to
yeah.
for the past 2 decades, 3 decades.
And I
Yeah.
think AI, I think you said to me, AI hasn't really taken a step
I
forward in a
know.
while.
And I
Like,
feel like that has to be the next evolution, right?
yeah.
And it's like the project, the Cyberpunk 2077 is the epitome. Like, I feel that CDPR was like, okay, the first game, The Witcher, is like, let's make a game. Like,
Yeah.
that was it. They made a
Yeah.
game. Then The Witcher 2 was like, let's make a game with a great story. And so they did
Yeah.
that. And then
Yeah.
Witcher 3 is like, hey, let's make a game with a good story and it's open world.
Yeah.
And they did that. And then, like, why don't we do all of that, but different and bigger, like as big as we could? And they did that with Cyberpunk. They made it crazy.
An idea, which was the game, like
Yeah.
the pen and paper game,
Yeah.
and they built a living, breathing digital world based on that. So they had a
Yeah.
basis to start with, and then they just went, this game does this really well, we're going to take that from that game. This game does this really well, we're going to take that. And they've combined what I used to like go, oh, I love this game, the stealth is fantastic, everything else is crap. Or like, I love this game, the shooting is fantastic, but everything else is crap.
Yeah.
They've managed to do what Apple does, which is take the best ideas out of everyone and combine it into one beautiful
It's a
product.
game collage.
It is what you said.
Wow.
It's a send-off to
It's
this
a send-off,
generation.
Yeah, of gaming.
Oh,
So
I mean,
maybe they will be thinking about, okay, what's the next step outside of that? Because we did the best thing you could do in a game in existence of
Yeah.
games now.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, okay, we have to work on AI now. Maybe that's the next thing. Unless they do
I think they're gonna.
this again, but medieval style, like
I think
a
they might
Witcher.
do. No, see, that would be boring.
Would it? Might be, yeah. Yeah, it might be.
What
Yeah, it
What
might
do
be
you
boring.
think? What do you think they'd want to do?
The next...
What would be the next
Wow.
big thing? Like, I mean, you haven't played this yet, but this
No,
is.
I haven't fully
I
experienced
mean,
it,
I'm
no.
mind blown. Like,
Where
I've
do you
never
go
sat-
from here, right?
Where do you go from this?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
us small
maybe
people.
we'll find out. What's this open roads?
Yeah, you go to open
Yeah.
words.
That's where you go next.
Like, they have to be pretty ambitious, right? Like,
Yeah.
you got to think, like, at this point, this is quintessential RPG.
Yeah.
Like, this will be played by generations.
And you got to think, wow, then a project like this, it takes literally a decade. I mean, they've shown us that it...
Multiplayer will be interesting. Multiplayer will be
Oh,
interesting.
yes. I mean,
man,
that
I can't
will be the
wait
next
to
project.
do bum around in the city with you.
That would be
I
great.
don't think it'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That sounds awesome.
It's just janky
Oh,
story.
this is janky story. Not interested. Next. Evil West. What's
Oh.
this? Ooh, all right. Let's have a look. Is this like Red Dead but evil? Oh, the visuals look cool.
Focus. never heard
Flying
of them.
Wild Hog. Oh, it's an
R18.
R18.
Yeah.
Yes. Juiciness.
Wow.
It's is this gonna be first or third?
Oh.
Zombies.
Zombie.
Oh, do we get to see gameplay? Maybe not, just cinematics.
Oh, it's like Van Helsing type thing. Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, cool, cinematic. He has a lot of tools at his disposal.
Yeah.
What the hell? It's like a hedgehog zombie.
Is it a zombie? Yeah.
A monster, whatever it is. Whoa, look at that. Giant gargoyle behind him.
It's like Doom's gone back to like medieval times.
Yeah, it's like Western times.
Oh, he's got
Doom.
powers, bro.
What the hell?
They're like, hey, Spider-Man did that. Let's do that here too.
Evil West. Okay.
Okay, look, I don't know. I don't know.
2021.
It's
Wow,
coming
it's
to
coming
everything.
to everything. So it's
Yeah.
going to be chunkalicious.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next? What's this?
Endless
Endless Dungeon. Okay. Is this like a isometric RPG thing? What? Another story one.
And Tony says, plot twist, Cyberpunk releases online and CD Projekt Red refuses to make another game like Rockstar with GTA V.
oh,
GTA
no.
5.
Yeah. So basically we'll have
Like
a...
service as a game.
Yeah, Cyberpunk will be on the PS6 and 7.
Well, you know what? They could they could just literally keep releasing like add-on packs for it. Like more.
Yeah. I mean, they could expand on this world so much
like,
more.
Imagine adding more like big storylines into that world, like that world. Because what a couple of these reviewers failed to realize is this isn't a story about saving the world. It's one man's story.
It's your story inside the world that you have to thrive in.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what Witcher 3 was, and that's why we loved it, because it was like, I'm not a superhero. I'm just a guy trying to stay alive.
Yeah. And even like in the books of The Witcher, which I recently finished all of them, he was never a superhero.
This looks cool.
He was never saving the world. He was just like, I want to protect Ciri or like, I want to find and be with Yennefer. Like, it was very mundane.
And I want to make some coin on the side.
Yeah, and he's like, he comes up, somebody's like, I'm dying. He's like, oh, for sake, I have to help you now. Like, he was never out there to like save the world, and he didn't want to.
Is this it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, there was a... Oh, okay. Is that it? I swear there was more. There was like a... I think there was an Evil Dead announcement as well.
What? They're making a game out of it?
Yeah. Out of the movie franchise, which would be interesting.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah. Well, there we have it.
All right. Well, maybe plot twist is that we finish.
Yeah.
Because we've been at it for an hour and 39 minutes.
So
Friends,
much talking.
Thank you very much for taking part with us. You
Thanks
guys
for
have been
listening.
great. Yeah, thanks for listening. We've really gone over the top. I don't know. Friday is one of those things where you're just like, oh, you know what? I don't have to be anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a little bit later, and I think, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like nearly 10 in the East Coast.
Wow, you guys must be like bedtime now.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us. I hope we've... I don't know what we did. I don't know what we discussed. Like, Cyberpunk... I feel like it's just getting started.
Yeah, I think you're right. It might be a project for years to come as they expand on it, like DLC 1, DLC 2, and then in 2 or 3 years' time, like mid-gen console, they'll be like, "Hey, there's a new project we're working on."
Yeah, because you know what they haven't done? They haven't announced like a project in between.
Yeah, now they have nothing.
Maybe they're doing this. Maybe they're committing to be more like GTA V, where they've just got this product that they just keep adding and adding to it. And
they do look up to Rockstar.
The RPG that you have created, they have there, is actually one of the products that you can keep adding to it, because people come back for you've got the gameplay down pat, and you're just coming back for the content, which you can always keep adding.
Yeah, and then eventually they'll be like, now it's playable.
And on that bombshell, we're going to end the show. Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers, and Tony, Pog, Nathaniel, Chris number 2, which is Devolution.
We got 2 Chris's. It's a Merry Christmas.
Jordan, thanks very much for jumping in. And that's it. I'm going to head home. I have to pick up... Apparently, my wife's car is like at a train station.
Oh, wow. Got to get that wife car.
I don't know how I'm going to get it.
All right. Good night, guys. Do we finish now?
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining us. See you guys next week.
Take care.